Good evening. We're here tonight to speak about an incident that happened just a few hours ago. Making remarks tonight will be Deputy Chief Frank Barredo, as well as Mayor Olivia Chower. Following their remarks, there will be a brief period of questions. Deputy Chief.
Thank you, just 2 weeks. Thank you all for being here. I'm here to provide an update on a very concerning incident that took place about 3 hours ago here at the Salsa and St. Clair Festival. What I can tell you, and I'll preface my remarks by indicating that this is still a very fluid and active investigation, and there's still many facts that are yet to be confirmed. But what I can tell you is that about 3 hours ago, about 8:12, police responded to reports of gunfire, active gunfire, in the area of St. Clair near 781 St. Clair Avenue West. There were people that were injured, there were people that were down, and there was a lot of activity and a lot of frontline responders that quickly went into action. 2 males, since that incident began, have been pronounced dead. Another 4 individuals have been transported to local hospitals with serious injuries. 2 firearms were recovered at the scene. This was a very active and chaotic scene. At times, there was some concern of an active shooter. That turned out not to be the case. As you can imagine, the information is flowing very, very quickly when something like this is unfolding. We have now established about 3 crime scenes, and homicide investigators and gun and gang crime investigators are on the scene as well, conducting what is a very complex investigation into what took place. The festival essentially has been moved back away from the scene, and the investigation of this area will be cordoned off for some time while investigators go about their work. I would ask that any members of the public that saw anything, that perhaps had video of what took place, that they might contact 416-808-1300, as we will be very eager to get all the information that we can and piece together what took place. As I said earlier, this is a very fluid and active matter. Investigators are currently working as we speak here. So I might be able to answer some of your questions as we go forward, but for now I'll turn the microphone over to Mayor Chow for some comments. Thank you.
I'm joined by Councillor Cole and local councillor, Councillor Matlow. I'm deeply disturbed and angry about this reckless, irresponsible act of violence. And right in the middle of a festival attended by families, children, seniors, and just beyond words how disturbed I am. I want to, for the 2 people that passed away, their loved ones, I want to send condolence. The pain they must be going through, my thoughts and prayers are with their families. And I urge people that have footage or have some information to call the police and let them know their information. And I want to say thank you to the first responder, the Toronto Police, the fire department, the emergency services. They responded immediately, quickly, and we saw them in action, and we are deeply grateful for their service. There may be other questions, and the details I'll leave it for the police to answer. But certainly, on such a crowded festival, to that kind of reckless violence is just leave me very disturbed and just totally angry.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Deputy, do you know how this started? Did it start as an altercation of some kind, or was it what precipitated this?
So it's very difficult to say with certainty what precipitated this. I can tell you that there was an exchange of gunfire between individuals and that 2 firearms were recovered. But as I said, investigators are piecing it all together. This was a very chaotic scene. I think we had something in the neighborhood of 13,000 people participating in this festival, so it's crowded. I mean, just the brazen, despicable quality of this exchange here, the amount of danger to the members of the public, as the mayor commented, is just so unacceptable. But we will piece together some of those bits of information, and when we're able to share it with the public, we certainly will.
Deputy, have there been any arrests? You said it's complex, right? Can you flesh out how it's complex in an investigation?
I can say it's complex because of the sheer number of people involved, just the chaotic amount of information There'd be lots of video to pour through, lots of witness statements and evidence to pour through. So you can imagine 13,000 people, obviously not all in the area where the shooting took place, but just a lot of people to interview, to speak to, and to try to piece it all together. And there may be more than, maybe, there's obviously several suspects, so we're going to put it all together.
So there have been no arrests?
There have been no arrests at this time in relation to this incident.
How many people are looking at crime scenes? Can you talk about
It's
that?
there's at this time I'll say that there's about 3 crime scenes, so areas that have been cordoned off and that will be more carefully examined than essentially the generality of St. Clair. As to number of suspects outstanding, I don't have that information available to share as yet. We'll certainly share that as the investigation unfolds.
Do you believe there are more shooters beyond these 2 people who you suggest are exchanged gunfire?
We will not rule that out at this point. I mean, again, I don't want to get ahead of the investigators. What they do is they gather the evidence and they go where it leads them. So I'm not going to put anything out into the public that would potentially misinform the public as to what took place.
Deputy, you said that there were at times reports that it was an active shooter, but that was not true. What does that mean?
That's correct. So an active shooter sometimes can be very concerning because it would essentially potentially put into the minds of responders and the public that someone is actively going around shooting, perhaps indiscriminately. And that is probably one of the worst types of calls we could have. This seemed to be an exchange of gunfire between individuals targeting each other, obviously indiscriminately putting vast numbers of people in great danger. But an active shooter is something that we put out because we weren't sure in the initial few moments of what it was. It turned out not to be an active shooter in the classic sense of the word.
Can you give us how many shots were fired? The 3 scenes?
I do not know exactly how many shots were fired.
Can you give us an idea of the proximity of the 3 scenes that you guys are looking at right now?
I'm afraid it's to the east of us. It's along St. Clair. I believe there's 3 scenes, so we might have had some movement and shooting that was happening in concert with itself. So
I appreciate Chief Deputy. We're only 3 hours since this happened.
Right.
Are there other suspects believed to be outstanding, or is it there 2 individuals that exchanged gunfire who are now deceased?
I would love to be able to tell you with some certainty, but I'm afraid I cannot. It's still far too early in the investigation to tell you who was involved, what their roles were, and who might be outstanding. That information will come when it becomes available.
To flesh out the numbers so our viewers can understand clearly, 2 deceased, 4 others were shot, and another person taken to hospital. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's my understanding.
And Deputy, just to clarify, are any of the deceased part of the 2 groups that were exchanging gunfire?
I'm not able to comment on that at this time.
One more question.
Can you just talk about the chaotic scene here that first responders encountered? I mean, it's been probably since the Danforth shooting that I haven't seen a response like this by officers and first responders to get here to try to figure out what's going on, to find people who were shot and attend to them, and to help other people who may have been fearing their lives and trying to run away from the scene. What was that like?
Yeah, as you might imagine, it's chaotic. It is challenging. We are very blessed in the city to have first responders who will run to the danger, who will run to the gunfire while other people are scrambling away. They will confront whatever the danger is and deal with it as best as they can according to their training. So 13,000 people, large, you can just imagine the chaos, the panic, the fear. And you've got people that are injured and you don't really know what is going on in the initial few moments. So police officers and first responders, paramedics, fire professionals, they simply have to get there and start figuring it out and start dealing with it, and that's exactly what they did. We're quite proud of their work, and now the investigators have quite a burdensome task as well to put it all together and bring the people responsible to justice.
Are you certain Debbie, there's no other threat to people who live here in this area? There's no one, a shooter hiding in a backyard or a shed, for example?
At this time, if there was something like that to be concerned about, we would be letting the public know. We do not believe at this time that there's some sort of active threat to people that live in and around this area.
Deputy, this is far from the first shooting that happened in Toronto. One of the eyewitnesses I was speaking to said, this is something that, it was scary, but this is something we're used to now. How do you respond to those kind of voices?
Toronto is one of the safest cities in the world. I'm sure the mayor would agree with me, and our councillors of the city would agree. But we are 3 million people, and unfortunately we are not completely immune to some of the things that happen globally, quite frankly. But Toronto is an extremely safe city, and we're very blessed with the first responders that we have, the police, the fire, and the paramedics that handle this, and that plan this, and that deal with the aftermath of this. So while it's tragic and it's very concerning, we have very talented and trained people dealing with it right now.
Can we just have, as the local councillor myself, the deputy mayor, I live here, Councillor Madlow.
Do you have agents?
It's Deputy Mayor Mike Cole and Councillor Madlow. We just want to say how disgusting this is, this gangster violence in a peaceful family festival. We had this for 15 years.
no problems, and to shoot up a festival indiscriminately. These thugs must be caught, no bail, put them away for 20 years. This threatens all of our public events. This has got to stop.
Our homicide squad is investigating this. They can be reached at 416-808-1300. That concludes our news conference. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.